In 1200 CE, we see that the legend of the Inca origin story begins. They believed that the sun god named Inca created a cave and that they were from the cave called Tambuchoco. The Inca started as 4 brothers and 4 sisters. In the story, it is said that the siblings were led by a brother named Manco, who carried a staff with instructions to find a place where the staff sank into the soil, one indicating fertile land. After a long journey, the scepter pierced when they reached the Cuzco Valley, and after fighting off the indigenous peoples, they set up their capital. After setting up the capital, the leader Manco became Manco Cápac, the first Sapa Inca, or king of the Incas. Manco Cápac was the beginning of the first dynasty, which lasted from 1200 to 1350. The leaders in order were Cinci Roca, who built terraces and brought in enormous amounts of soil to improve the fertility of the Cuzco Valley. After Cinci Roca came Loke Yupanqui, who established a market in the Cuzco Valley. Then came Mate Capac, who was described by chroniclers as conquering all the way to territories like Lake Titicaca, Arequipa, and Potosi. But historians have now found that in reality, the first ruler to break away from the Cuzco Valley was the last Super Inca of the first dynasty, Capac Yupanqui. Capac Yupanqui also was actually the first to expand territory out of the valley. Next came the second dynasty. The first of these leaders was Inca Roca, established the Huachasi, schools for teaching nobles. After that came Vurcacha Inca, who was the first Incan to rule the territories he conquered, while his predecessors just raided and looted them. After Yuhar Hukakame, the famous Puchacudi, so the powerful and ambitious ruler Puchacudi gained the throne in 1438. Under his leadership, the Inca conquered all of Peru and then moved into neighboring lands. As part of his visions of the statesman and warrior chieftain, he captured many ethnic groups and states, highlighting his conquest of the Calo that enhanced the prestige of the Inca Pachacutec. By 1500s, the Inca ruled the empire that stretches to southern 500 miles along the western coast of South America. It included about 80 provinces and 16 million population. At that time, they called the empire the Land of the Four Quarters. Pachacudi and his successors accomplished this conquest through the combination of the diplomacy and the military force. They were also shrewd diplomats at attacking. They typically offered enemy states as honorable surrenders. At the same time, they allowed the enemy states to keep their own customers as an exchange for their loyalty. Because of this treatment, many countries gave up without resisting. By gaining commitment from the locals, he maintained the stability of the empire. Tupac Inca Yupanqui, who is also exited with leading 10-month-long voyage into the Pacific. Then came Juana Capac, who was killed in the Spanish by the flu brought over by the Spaniards. Then there was Huascar, who declared war on Atahualpa. Atahualpa won. Then there was Atahualpa, who was born in 502, the Inca ruler. Atahualpa is one of the key figures in the history of the European colonization of South America. Atahualpa was the son of the Inca ruler Juan Capac. At Juana's death, the kingdom was divided between his sons. This led to a civil war, which Atahualpa won in 1532. However, before it could celebrate, he was captured by the conquistador Francisco Pizarro. Atahualpa paid an immense ransom in gold. His ransom was a room full of gold and silver as his ransom for the Spanish. They still executed him. He captured the most powerful ruler and most powerful empire, paved the way for the Spanish colonization of South America. As the last empire of the pre-Columbian Empire, Atahualpa was an immensely powerful leader. Inca myths were passed on verbally until early Spanish colonists recorded them. Scholars believe that they did have a system of records called quipus, a method of knotted string records. The Inca religion was a polytheist. They believed in many deities, such as Viracocha, the god of creation, Apu Yapu, who they prayed to when they needed rain or into the sun god, and patron of the city of Cusco. The Incas believed in that after death, the spirit of dead, Kenaken, would need to get to paradise by walking down a long road escorted by a large black dog who could see in the dark. It was essential to the Inca that they not die in a fire or be cremated. This would threaten the passage into the afterworld. If If an Inca obeyed the Inca moral code, Ana Suya, Ana Luya, Ana Kea, translation, do not steal, do not lie, do not be lazy, would live in the sun's warmth as the others would live on the cold earth. The Incas also practiced Kapa Hucha in times of great importance. Kapa Hucha translates to human sacrifice. The Inca administration was a great system of federalism. The empire was broken up into 4 sections, and together it was called Tuan Tisio. The Inca Empire was a federalist system with the Inca at its head 4 quarters, or Suyu. Chincha Suyu was the northwestern region, Inti Suyu in the northern eastern part, Kuntu Suyu southwest area, and Kuya Suyu in the southeast area. The 4 of these quarters met at the center of the city Cusco. Cusco was likely not organized as a province. Instead, it was more of a capital of government administration like Washington, D.C. Cusco sat at the center of the 4 Suyu. Each Suyu was ruled by a government called Apu. The Apus reported to the Sapa Inca. The Inca army was the most powerful of the time because they could turn an ordinary villager or farmer into a militant soldier. Every able Inca male of age had to take part in war in some form at least once to prepare for warfare against when needed. The soldiers were from all different territories. They used no iron, steel, or wheels. They marched into a battle with drums beating and trumpets blowing. Their armor consisted of helmets made of wood, copper, bronze, cane, or animal skin. Some were decorated with feathers, round or square shields made from the wood or hide and closed tunics padded with cotton and planks to protect the spine. They used weapons fashioned from bronze, stone, copper, and clubs with rock and spiked metal. Roads allowed quick transportation on foot from the army, and shelters called tambu and storage silos called quilcas were built 1 day's traveling distance from each other so that an army could always be fed and rested. The Inca economy was a great system. They used central planning, they traded with outside regions, and most households in the empire lived in a traditional economy in which homes had to pay taxes, usually in the form of mida labor, corvée, and military obligations. In return, the state provided security, food in times of hardship through the supply of energy resources, agricultural projects to increase productivity, and occasionally feasts. The Incas desired the coca plant as sacred. The leaves were used in moderate amounts to lessen hunger and pain during work, but were mostly used for religious and health purposes. Coca leaves were also used as an anesthetic during the surgeries. The Chasqui messengers who ran throughout the empire to deliver messages chewed cocoa leaves for extra energy. Although a short time of rule, roughly 150 years, Incas were able to go a good couple miles in their territory. As its height, it was 770,000 square miles in rough terrain. But then their car broke down. Dear inventor of the Kipo, how can we better understand your system of complex knots that somehow translates into a system, and if it got tangled, how would you start over and untangle it? And what if you tied the knot in the wrong place? Was there a special person who could tie the knot with ease? Sincerely, Connor Arment. But Mr. Arment, is this going to be on the test? Probably. The Inca Empire had a vast territory in South America, integrating many groups into a society under the rule of universal Inca law. As years went on, diseases started to spread, causing up to 90% of the population to die. Also, the arrival of Spaniards stopped the development of the civilization with introduction of new customs and creating a social gap that has endured for more than 500 years. The Incas resisted the conquerors for 4 decades, until 1572 when Tupac Amaru, son of Manco Inca and the last Inca ruler, was executed along with his family and advisors, leaving no successor. Thus, once vast empire ended,